Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, all of you. We'll start in like 5 minutes. Okay, all right. So we'll just, I don't know if I can check everybody's homework quickly, but we'll just go through it. Starting with Adrit's homework. The question I asked was, I gave only 2 questions for homework for all of y'all.
Yes, ma'am. No, actually 3.
Can you tell me the questions, please?
When was the sewing needle invented? That was question 1. Then
Okay.
question 2 was how was the sewing needle invented? That was question 2. And then question 3 was when was silk invented?
Okay, fine. Because I gave the first two questions together as one question, so that's fine. The sewing needles were invented in the 14th century. Ancient herbs joined miles of materials using rope and horn needles. An animal. An animal. What is after animal? Can you read your answer, Adrit?
Ma'am, when was the sewing?
Yeah.
The sewing needles were invented in 14th century. Ancient peoples joined pieces of material using bone and horn needles and animal sinew for thread.
Okay, fine. So try to write it in the same line, okay, Adrit? You can see that some of your letters are out of a line.
Okay,
so
ma'am.
write it in the same line, okay? So when was silk invented? The silk was invented in the 14th century. Okay, fine. Okay, Adrit. Moving on to Ashwat. Ashwat, you didn't send me your homework, did you?
Mom, I didn't have time to do my homework because I had school homeworks.
Okay. Try to have time for this also, okay? Maybe you the homework that I give you today, try to complete it along with that. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Going to street page. When was the sewing needle invented? How was it invented? In 1844, sewing needle was invented. Earlier, sewing needles were made of animal bones and antlers and tusks. When was the silk invented? Silk was invented in 1620. Okay, very good. Next, going on with Deepika. Deepika, you didn't send me a homework, right? Deepika? Hello? Deepika, am I audible? Do you have a reason for why you didn't send me your homework? Soumya, even you didn't send me your homework, right? Deepika and Soumya, please respond. You guys were late to class. You're not responding to my question. See, this is what makes me mad. Even Ashwath didn't do his homework. He gave me an explanation. I didn't scold him, right? Just tell me if you're not done with your homework and give me a reason. Okay, maybe you're having the same issue, Soumya. Can you just text me in the chat box why you didn't do your homework? That would help me. Yeah, sure. Okay, Deepika, you can send it to me now. Soumya, can you tell me why you didn't do your homework, or did you do your homework and didn't send it to me? Okay, since it's getting late, ma'am, I didn't do my homework, but I didn't send it. Okay, then send it to me. Send it to me then, Soumya. Both of y'all, Deepika and Soumya, I'll check your homework in the end. Send it to me right now. I'm gonna start with the class now. Okay, class. So today we're going to start with a new lesson. All right. So before we start with the new lesson, let's first go on with the introduction. Now you're going to the market. All right. And you see nice chocolates. You're not able to find it. You're not able to find it. What kind of an answer is this? Soumya, try to find it. That's the least you can do. Try to find your book. Maybe after class you can find your book and send it to me. Okay, not now. After class, just send it to me. Deepika, what about yours? Where is your homework? I'm still waiting for your homework. Okay, so you're going to the market. You go with your mom. You see that there's a lot of chocolates, and you're asking your mom, and you get it. You're having a bag where you can put all the materials. You get it. So you have chocolates in your bag, and then you're going, and then your mom sees some fruits and vegetables. She gets a bunch of bananas. She gets a bunch of oranges, apples. She gets a huge watermelon, and she puts it in the bag. And then now she's going passing by. Now she's going to the vessel shop, and she sees all these small, nice bowls, and she gets these bowls and spoons. Okay. And then you're going, and then you remember that I have given you homework and you don't have a notebook. So you will get a notebook. Okay. And along with them, you get some pencils, some scales. Okay. So after all this, you come back home. Now your bag is full of, you have your bananas, oranges, apples, you have a watermelon, you have your notebook, you have your pencil scale, you have your chocolate, you have your mom's vessels, you have all this in the bag. Now, what will you do once you get home? You're just going to keep the bag in your room and you're going to look at how pretty the bag is. What will you do once you come home? Can Adrit, can you tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so what will you do once you come home? What will you do?
I didn't understand.
You didn't understand. Okay, 1 minute. Ashwath, Deepika, Soumya, cameras on, please. Okay, Ashwath, did you understand what I'm trying to say?
Ma'am, after coming to home,
Tell me.
I will rest for, I will, I will take a bath.
No, that's not my question. Listen to the question carefully, all of you, once again. You go to the market, you see there are chocolates, and you like the chocolate, you're going to get the chocolate. You have your homework, so you're getting a notebook to do that. You're getting pencils, you're getting scales, and your mother is buying some fruits and vegetables. She's buying apples, mangoes, oranges, watermelon. She's putting it in the bag. She's going to a vessel shop. She gets few vessels, she gets some bowls, spoons, and all. And yeah, you put all this in the bag. Now you come home. How are you going to, everything is like mixed up now. Everything is in the bag. How will you take your notebook? How will you take your scale out? What will you do? Maybe wait, not Ashwath. Yes, Soumya. Are you able to unmute yourself? Are you able to unmute yourself, Soumya? Okay, Sritesh.
Ma'am, it's not a doubt. I want to say the answer.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, when you go home, you take out the stuff from the bag and then you sort it up in your home wherever it's convenient, and then you start using it.
Exactly. So you can all notice the word that Sritesh is using here. He's using the term sorting. So what you do, you sort them. You sort the fruits separately, vegetables separately, the vessels separately in the kitchen, your notebooks inside your room, and the scales and books and everything inside your bag. You put them in places where they belong to. Okay. This whole process is called as sorting. Okay. So this is the name of our chapter, sorting materials into groups. So there is a certain place for everything, like you would have noticed in the example over here. Okay, there's a certain place for everything. Notebooks should go inside your bag. Bowls and spoons should go inside the kitchen. You can't put the notebooks inside the kitchen
and the bowls and fruits and vegetables inside your bag, because you know that these things belong here. So you know where they belong. Similarly, for everything that you use, you know there are different materials. Now we understood the concept of sorting. You just sorting means what? Like putting them into groups. You're separating them. You're separating like red color, blue color, green color means you're separating the colors. Okay, so it's called sorting. Now we're going to talk about materials. There are different materials that is around you. Can you name few materials, Ashwath? Name a few materials.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Can you name few names of materials? Like paper, wood, like the different materials are there, no?
Plates, spoons,
No. Those are objects. I'm talking about materials.
wood,
Yeah, wood, okay.
steel,
Very good.
iron,
Wood, steel, iron, okay.
aluminium,
Aluminium,
copper,
copper.
gold,
Okay, gold. Then you have mainly you have paper. Yeah, you have paper. You have fabric. That is basically cloth. So you know that for which materials which you should have like use. Okay, you can make, you know, now for example you're making a house. What are the basic raw materials that you use to make the house? Sritej, can you try? You use cement. What are the other materials you use?
Ma'am, cement, and then like a large space to put the house.
That is okay. The land, okay.
Then
You use a little bit of steel for making the construction. Then you can even use some, if it's a wooden floor or anything, you can use wood. So you can see that these materials are used for making the house. Can you use paper or cloth to make the house? Can you make your house out of paper? Can you make your house out of cloth?
No, ma'am.
No. So you know that certain materials can be made out of certain things. Can you make a sari out of wood? Can you make a sari out of cement or steel? You can't. So every material or every product, okay, these materials, using these materials, what you get is the product. The house is here as a product. Okay, so these are used for making products or things. Okay, so these are the materials. All right, so we have different materials around us. So depending on the needs, so how do you classify them? How will you know that this is suitable for stitching, this is suitable for making a house, this is suitable for drinking water, making a glass for you drinking water? What are the things that you use for making drinking glass?
metal.
Sorry, I can't hear you, da.
Ma'am, just the steel. Ma'am, just the glass.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you use steel.
Okay, you can make a steel glass.
Ma'am, glass.
Yeah, you can use glass.
Ma'am, can you hear?
Copper.
Copper glass.
Ma'am,
Sorry.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, da.
Oh, I thought that you cannot hear me.
Gold.
Sorry.
Gold.
Gold glass. Very rich guy you are. Okay, so you can make all these things for making glass. But instead, what will happen if you make a glass out of cloth or a glass out of paper? What will happen? Why can't you use these? It's not like you can't
Ma'am?
construct. You can construct. Why can't you use them?
The water like leaks through it. It does not.
The water will leak through it. Exactly. So this is a leak proof material. Gold, steel, glass are not a leak proof. Whereas
Ma'am?
cloth, yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, the reusable glasses are made of paper, right?
The reusable glasses are not completely made of paper. They use a bit of thermocol also to it. Okay, there are paper glasses. I'm not saying there are not paper glasses, but you cannot like use them continuously. You get it? They will demolish it and they'll make it again. Because now, for example, you take a paper glass, you're putting tea in it. You're gonna leave it aside for a whole day. There'll definitely be a hole inside the glass because there's only a certain number of time the liquid can withstand in that water because there'll be a lot of layers of thick paper. Okay, there's only a limit. Okay, now for example, you're taking a pile full of A4 size papers. You're going to pour water on top. Okay, it's not that the water will leak. As soon as you pour it, it will not leak down. Now you have like, for example, you have 100 A4 size paper layers. Okay, and it's inside a box. You're pouring water inside. Okay, you're pouring water inside. So it'll after a while, maybe for 1 or 2 hours, slowly the water will drip, 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 and finally the whole box it'll start dripping. This is what happens. Similarly, it happens to the paper glasses that you use for drinking. There's only sufficient amount of time which you can withstand it. Not a lot of long period of time. But they're telling paper that, cups are more usable and it's more durable because as soon as you use it, you dispose it. You can't use it for a long period of time. Have you gone to households and seen just paper glasses in the shelves? You'll see only glasses made up of copper or glass. You won't see paper glasses. Okay, paper glasses are only for disposable purposes. Because why? Because they cannot withhold the liquid for a long period of time. Okay, so these materials here are leak proof, whereas these are not leak proof. So this term leak proof is one of the property of the material used for making glass. Now, can you make? Yeah, you can, but why aren't the whole houses? Why can't you make it out of glass? It's not like you can't, but why do people not make it out of glass? You can make. If I think I can make it, I can make it. I can make my whole house out of glass. But why don't people do that? Because it will break. So these materials, wood, steel, cement are break free or shock proof or break proof. Again, this breakage is another property. So these materials, choosing of materials, whether to use this or not, is all based on the properties of the materials. Okay, this is the term that we're going to see. Now we're going to see different properties. Okay, now just take for example, you have Ashwath, you have mentioned steel, wood, iron, aluminium, copper, paper, fabric. Now other than Ashwath, no, Sritej, who else didn't answer? Who else didn't answer? Have everybody answered? Soumya, are you able to unmute yourself? Okay, all right. Adrit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as Ashwit has told, all these materials, wood, steel, iron, aluminium, and all. Look at the screen, and can you tell me differentiate it?
Ma'am, can you repeat the
I'll just
question?
give you an example. Okay, I'm not done with the question yet. 1 minute. So, for example, paper and fabric. Okay. So, what are the differentiating things you can do? You can say that paper is more. You can tear paper, whereas fabric you cannot tear it. You can only cut it with scissors. You cannot tear it with your hand. So, it's a property. Okay, like this, I want you to differentiate all these materials.
Okay, ma'am.
Can you? Can you, Adrit?
I'll try.
Yeah.
Ma'am, paper and iron.
Yeah, tell me difference.
Ma'am, paper breaks down and iron does not.
Okay, other than saying breakage, which is already an example I've given, tell me a different one. Okay, Ashwath, can you try? Everybody try.
Ma'am, fabric gets wet and steel will not get wet.
Very good, Ashwath. Excellent. So you guys can see clearly, fabric obviously, if you put in water, it'll get wet, whereas it doesn't happen the same with the steel. Excellent. Okay. Next, Ritesh, can you give me another difference?
Steel is like made from ores and minerals, while wood is made from
nature. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Next person, Deepika.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give me a differentiation from these materials?
Um, ma'am, ma'am, I don't know if it's correct, but I'll try to give.
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, some of the materials are leak proof, while the others are
Yeah,
if-
yeah, sure. That's right. But since leak proof is also an example I've already given, I want you to give me an example which I've not mentioned in class. Something new.
ma'am, hard and soft.
Yeah, sure. You can say that. Give me a difference. Which one and which one?
Ma'am, paper and fabric are soft,
Okay.
while iron and aluminium are hard.
Very good. Excellent. So you guys can clearly see, so you can see the different thing, uh, like Deepika told hard and soft, and Ashwath told it, wetness, and Sritij told, extracted place. It's getting from the ore and getting from nature. And what are the other example I missed? Can anybody just fill it up? No. And yeah, I told another example, it's break free or break proof. So all these are called as the properties. Okay, so all these are properties. So based on this only, we will decide what product to make. Am I clear? Now, in detail, we'll be looking at three important properties of materials. Okay, one is appearance. You can see all the materials, they're very different in appearance. So one of the properties. Another property is what they like soluble or insoluble. Okay, don't note this down. We will note it down once we are teaching. If there's anything, I don't think there's anything to note it down. If there's anything you guys want to write, like from whatever I've taught so far in words, you can just note it down. Because whatever I've written here on notes is nothing to just copy it. But there'll be certain things you understood on your own from what I taught, right? You can write those down. So once all of you are done, just mention your name and tell me you're done and we can continue.
Ma'am, this is Ritesh. I'm done.
Okay, okay. Shritesh.
Ma'am, I am Ashwath. I have done.
Okay.
Ma'am, this is Adrit. I'm done.
What about Deepika and Soumya? I'm waiting for your only. Okay, I think I'm given ample time. Deepika, are you done yet? I'm not able to do. Yeah, sure, sure. And take 2 more minutes and try to get it done. Guys, I guess you will get notified if someone like texts in the chat box, since I'm not able to see if there's an additional message coming up the chat box. And if you're able to like see it, please let me know.
Ma'am, Deepika messaged. She said she's done.
Okay, fine. Okay, cool. Soumya, haven't at least you can like text me on the chat box. You're done. Okay, all right. Going back to the lesson. Now we're going to look at every property in detail. All right. So starting with the appearance. So among all these materials, do you guys notice some of the materials have appearance property in common? Can any of y'all tell me what it is? Any of y'all?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Like the materials over here that we mentioned over here, some of the materials have something in common when it comes to appearance. Can you all notice that?
Ma'am, they are harder.
Hardness is a separate property. I'm talking about appearance. Means when you look at them.
Ma'am, something is common or something is different.
Something is common. Not for all, like few of them, like coming to steel, iron, aluminium, copper, they have something in common.
Ma'am, they will shine.
Exactly. Very good, Ashwat. Okay. So when it comes to the appearance of certain metals that we mentioned over here, you can also, I shouldn't have told, but I told. You can see copper, aluminium, iron, steel, all these, they shine. Another term for shine is they are lustrous. They are lustrous. Okay. And another thing that you can notice is all of them are metals. So it is clearly defined that all metals are lustrous. Okay. Okay. So your homework question is, if all metals are lustrous, why does iron not shine after a while? So have you guys noticed your iron gates and all? They don't shine after some time. Why is that? That is what you're going to find out.
Ma'am,
Okay.
is this our homework?
Yeah, it's a homework. Okay. So you're going to find out why that is. All right.
Ma'am, can I say the answer? I know a little.
Yeah, sure, you can try.
Ma'am, because of the oxygen,
Exactly. It's because of the
when the
oxygen. Do you know what
iron
is?
contacts the oxygen,
Mm-hmm.
it starts shedding its lustrous moment.
Okay. So when it's getting exposed to oxygen, a process happens. Do you know what the name of the process is?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that is what you're going to find out. Okay. So yeah, your answer is correct. It's because of exposure to oxygen. So when it's getting exposed to oxygen, something happens. That something is what you guys are going to find. All right. Okay. So materials, they usually look different from each other. You're aware of that. You can see that wood looks very different from iron, and iron appears very different from copper and aluminium. So the same time, they may be, there'll be some similarities also that which we saw right now, which is known as the lustrous or the shine. Okay, that is the first property. Now coming to the second property, that is the hardness. So when you press like different materials with your hand, some of them may be hard to compress. Now, if there's a paper glass, can you crush it? Can you
Yes,
crush,
ma'am.
can you crush
Yes,
a
ma'am.
steel glass?
No, ma'am.
No. So this is the hardness. Okay. So you take a metal key and you try to scratch the surface or the piece of the wood or aluminium. You can easily scratch it, right? But can you just take another this thing and can you like what do you say? With some play, for example, you're taking a key and you're gonna scratch it on a wood. What will happen?
Mm, ma'am, some pieces of the wood falls
Wood
down.
comes out exactly. But do pieces of steel or iron come when you scratch steel or iron?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, that doesn't happen. So there's another way of finding if they're hard or not. Okay, when you do it in chalk, what will happen? Chalk will become very powdery. So it breaks down. So you can easily scratch some of the materials, but some cannot be scratched so easily. So materials which can be compressed or scratched. So materials that can be compressed or scratched. Those that can be compressed or scratched are called as soft materials, whereas the ones that cannot be compressed or scratched are called as hard materials. All right. So obviously, you can just take, for example, a cotton or a sponge. It's more softer than that of an iron. Okay, so in appearance, materials can have different properties like luster, which we saw the first point. Second point is, so lustrous is the property. You can also say luster. Okay, so luster is there. And what else you have? You have hardness. Or if it's rough or smooth, you can say that. Okay, taking a chalk, okay, and you're taking wood and you're going to touch a chalk, which is more softer. I mean, which is more smooth. There's a chalk piece, and there is a bark of a tree. Which is more smooth?
Chalk piece.
Chalk, of course. So there's another property, which is rough or smooth. Okay, so this is how things are classified. You can just feel it with your hands and you can find them out. And finally, the last property, which is the soluble or insoluble property. Okay, now what is the meaning of soluble? Can you tell me what is the meaning of soluble? Any of your, have you heard this term anywhere?
Which cannot, which can dissolve in water.
Exactly. So soluble are ones that is dissolve, that can dissolve in water. The one that does not dissolve in water are called
Insoluble.
insoluble substances. Now, for example, you're taking sugar, you're taking salt. You listen carefully, okay? Sugar, salt. You're taking some sand and you're taking some chalk powder, okay? And just taking 4 glasses, okay? And you're filling each of them with water. You're going to add in each one different. One glass you're adding salt and water, 1 glass sugar and water, 1 glass you're adding sand and water, other glass you're adding chalk powder and water. You're going to stir them. Now, one by one. Ashwath, what will happen to the sugar and water solution? Will it dissolve or not?
It will dissolve, ma'am.
Okay. Adrit,
Yes,
what about salt?
salt. It can dissolve.
It will dissolve. Deepika, what about this thing, the chalk powder?
Ma'am, it will.
Chalk powder will dissolve?
Ma'am, some kinds of chalk powder will dissolve, maybe.
Chalk powders normally they don't dissolve. Yes, the paper will, sorry, the liquid will become colorless. So it will become like, what do you say, like dust particles will be roaming around. It'll change into a translucent liquid, yes, but it will not dissolve. Okay,
Okay.
so the particles will still be there. Now, what about Sritej? What about the sand solution?
Sand. Ma'am, sand will dissolve.
Sand will dissolve. Sand also will not dissolve because sand is not a completely powdery substance. It is made up of rock sediments. Rocks dissolve? They don't. Okay, they're just rock sediments. Rocks are just broken down into smaller particles, which make them into sand. So you can clearly see over here, sand and chalk powder, they do not dissolve. Whereas salt and sugar, they will dissolve. Okay. So basically dissolve means what? They will disappear completely.
Ma'am,
So tell me.
ma'am, you said the particles which are larger in size will not dissolve, right?
Yeah.
Then sugar's particles are sometimes bigger
It
than science also.
yeah, we'll come to that part again. So it's not now, as I told you, these are all the properties. Okay. Now, for example, you're taking what do you say? You're taking a material that is hard, but it cannot. It what do you say? You're taking a very thick A4 size paper. Okay, you're taking 100 layers of A4 size paper. Okay, so it is like break the and you cannot. So they break free. Just because it is break free, can you build? Just because it has this one property, can you use it for building the house? Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Ma'am, your voice was breaking.
Now, for example, you're having a very thick A4 size paper, okay? And you're not able to break it, okay? For example, the A4 size is made up of 100 layers of paper, okay? So it's a very thick paper. Just because it is break free, can you use it for building the house?
No,
No.
ma'am.
Ma'am, no.
No, why? Because that one property is not enough. You have other properties also. Similarly, for the sand, the particles are bigger. For the sugar, the particles are bigger. Is just one property, but it is made up of a natural material. It is made up of a material that can break down its components. Do you get it? So there's another property that lets it dissolve. Do you get it? Do you understand, Deepika? Is my voice clear? Is my voice audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Deepika, did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So like this, now what do you say? Now, okay, coming to the point again, what Deepika asked, you can ask, okay, what is the other property that actually makes sugar soluble and why not sand? So there is everything that is in this earth, okay, like even us human beings, every single thing in this earth is made up of tiny particles, which is called as atoms. Have you guys heard this term anywhere?
Ma'am, I heard of it. My classmate said, but I did not understand what was it.
Okay, so they are called as atoms. Okay, so atoms are tiny particles which cannot be visible with naked eye, which cannot be visible with microscope. It's very, very beyond that. It's very tiny. Okay, so
Ma'am,
atoms, yeah,
ma'am, atoms are present, the particles inside molecules, right?
yeah. Okay, now for example, you're taking a glass of, so you're taking a cube. In the cube, the atoms are tightly packed. That is why it is able to, be in that rigid shape. It's able to be in that one shape. It is not flowing like water. Now, if you take water, the atoms are freely roaming. They're not like too far, they're a little bit close. They're flexible. It can change its shape and size. You can, for example, you're pouring it in a round bowl, means it will take the round shape. If you're pouring it in a square box, means it will take the box shape. Okay. Finally, you have air. Now in air, the particles are very freely moving. They're everywhere. Okay, they're not closely packed. Okay, so depending on how they are packed, they'll be soluble. Now, when you come to sugar, maybe sugar is having atom particles that can be easily broken down. Whereas in rock sediments or sand, the atoms are tightly packed and cannot be broken down easily. That is why some are soluble and some are not. Did
Ma'am,
you
you
understand?
said sugar cubes, right? Which are given to us for mixing in tea.
Yes.
But I'm saying about the sugar candy, actually, like the solid ones, very big solid ones.
Very big solid ones. Now, for example, they are definitely soluble because their raw material is sugar. If be it a sugar candy, be it a sugar cube, be it the normal powdered sugar also using, it is sugar at the end, right? Which is
Yes,
made
ma'am.
up of the same atoms, which is made up of the same atoms that is made up that makes up the sugar. So it doesn't matter whatever forms it takes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
So, and also another extra information. Now you're taking a bowl of water, and this bowl has 100 ml of water. Now you're taking 100 ml of sugar. Now you're putting it in this thing. For example, you're taking 200 ml of sugar. Sorry, 200 ml of sugar. Okay. Now you're adding it in this thing, or not even 200 ml. Make just add just 5 or 10 more. For example, 100. This is 100 ml of water and 110 ml of sugar. Okay. Now you're gonna add this into the water. Will it get dissolved? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Deepika says yes. What about the rest? Sritij, will it dissolve or not?
Can you repeat once? I think my network is not that good.
There is 100 ml of water. There's 110 ml of sugar. You're gonna add it together. Like it's actually milligram, but anyways, doesn't make any difference. You're gonna add it in 100 ml of water. Will the sugar dissolve or not?
Ma'am, it will dissolve, ma'am, but it will take so much time.
Okay, Ashwath says it will dissolve, but it will take a lot of time. Okay, what about you, Sritej? And what about Adrit? Can you both give your answer?
Yes, ma'am, it will dissolve in so much time.
It will dissolve.
Okay, but I am telling it will not dissolve. Okay, it will actually dissolve, but only 90% of it will dissolve. 10% won't dissolve because there is 10 ml more than the number of amount of water. Okay, now you're taking a container. It can hold only 500 grams, means you can't put 600 grams in it. That is the amount it can hold. So that is the amount the water can hold. Okay, so this what now, for example, you're making a sugar syrup at home. You can also try it. You can take 2 spoons of water, add 2 spoons of sugar. It will not dissolve. You will find a very liquidy, hard liquid sugar. You will find it will not dissolve. Okay, this kind of solutions where this is called as a what do you say, a solvent. Okay, the water is called as a solvent because it is the one where the solution occurs, and this is called as the solute. The sugar is called as the solute, and the sugar plus water together gives you the solution. So if the solvent or solute is greater, it is greater than the solvent, it will give you a solution where you cannot completely dissolve all of the solute, and it is called as a concentrated solution. Got it? Do you understand?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now in this concentrated solution, I'm taking just like, for example, I'm taking 10 ml of concentrated solution and I'm adding 100 ml of water. I'm adding to this. It will become a very, there'll be little amount of sugar and there'll be a lot of amount of water. So it will be a light, sweet liquid. So this is called as a dilute solution. I diluted it. I made the concentration go down. This is called as a diluted solution. This is not a part of your lesson, but since Deepika came up with this doubt, I had to teach all this extra information. You will learn it in higher grade. If you want it, you can make notes of it. Okay. And you can also make note of the homework and tell me when you're done.
Oh,
The- all this also, all this is done. Make note of that also. The properties and all is part of the lesson only. Make note of that.
ma'am, this water
Ma'am,
one.
can you zoom it? I cannot see.
Yeah.
Ma'am, this you told na, ma'am, sugar, water.
Mm.
It is from our lesson.
Mm. I don't understand what you're asking there.
We should write it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not from your lesson. If you want, you can write it. It's actually just extra information. If you want, you can note it down. Only the ones that I've written inside this, okay, inside this part. All the rest and all is there. Tell me your name and tell me when you're done.
Over, ma'am. Ashwat.
Done, ma'am. Deepika.
This is Adrit. I'm done.
Okay.
Ma'am, can I leave?
Yeah, you can leave that.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye.
Mom, this is Ritesh. I'm done.
Yeah, you can leave, Sritesh. Bye.
Bye.
Done, ma'am.
Bye bye. You can
Bye.
leave when you're done.